at our next topic, and it's to do with the GMO foods that has been introduced in Ghana. Now, if you know more about GMO foods, then you know that there are some highs and lows to it. Most people talk about the lows, but when you look at the highs is to help for us to have enough food on the market. So it's genetically modified crops. Now, these are more like fertilizers that will enable us to produce more foods, because the ordinary fertilizer on the market is quite expensive. And so these introductions or the introduction of the GMO into the market is going to ease cost of fertilizer so that farmers can be able to produce enough food on the market. Now, the foods will should I say they will be, how do I put it, cultivated quickly than the normal time. So let's say if you plant tomatoes and you can cultivate the tomatoes in, let's say, 6 weeks, with the GMO, you can cultivate probably in 3 weeks. So that's how it is. So it cuts it into half. So you plant the seeds, and in 3 weeks, you are cultivating. Now, they are juicier, they look sumptuous, they are huge, and you sell it on the market. As compared to the normal fertilizer on the market, which is more expensive, which when you use, it comes off as a longer process and also doesn't come as juicier as the others. Now, you take a look at the consequence if you should go for this. Now, the good side is what I've spoken about, so you will not complain too much about the cost of food on the market. You will not complain about scarcity of food on the market, but these are some of the things as well. Now, we look at the toxicity, we look at allergic reactions, we look at cancer, loss of nutrition, immunosuppression. These are some of the negatives that could come with GMO. But let me ask my guest, and I know you at home as well, what you think about GMO foods. I know on social media yesterday people were so upset about it because they said that why are we introducing this? But there are so many people who are already eating it, because people are importing foods from the United States of America, and the United States of America, genetically modified crops are highly used. Most of the foods that they produce are used in it. So we are consuming it even without knowing. And so if it's been introduced in Ghana, why the complaint? This is the question that people are asking. But let me bring, I think I should start this with, Bernard, you spoke, you just ended, so maybe I should start with Honorable Ebenezer Nate. Now,
are you aware that he is the chairman of the Homo Cleanup?
Yeah.
You're aware?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm
sure Ben Efson did not serve as a resource person on GMOs this time around.
Ben, don't mind them, okay? Eben, please. People are not too happy about it, but they are high and low.
When you organize,
you didn't invite me to come and clean.
It doesn't yield any results for your party. Oh. That's how.
Anyway, let's go to our topic. So the GMO foods has been finally introduced. We are being told that it will be good for us because now we are going to see a lot of food on the markets because cost of fertilizer is going to be cheaper than before. You know, currently farmers are complaining about the cost of fertilizer. We are also going to see more food being cultivated in a shorter period as compared to the past. And people are not too happy because this fertilizer is going to be generated in labs. So it's not organic, it's generated in labs. Your take on it?
Rosaline, to be honest and sincere with you, I've not heard the Ministry of Agric or the Select Committee talking about these genetic foods that we are talking about. I remember during the, I think, President Mills' administration, it is when they wanted to push for these, and then many of us speaks against it. Looking at already, as you rightly said, many people complain about our food that we eat. Mm-hmm. That even you go to the markets and banana, and that's of maybe pear and all those things. People will just go and buy it and just put some carbide on it, and within 3-4 days, you ripe, and then you have infections and all those things. So people have really speak against it. That look, if we are to introduce this, it will create a lot of problems for us because currently, as we are speaking, we are already going through certain situations that on the normal circumstances, we are not supposed to. So for me, I think that there's a need for the Ministry of Agric to come out to let us know whether indeed they are introducing this and the health implications of people. Because yes, some people will say that, as you rightly said from the beginning, we're already consuming it because we get some outside. But how are they preserve it? How are they able to do it? And how are we going to manage ours? So for me, personally, I am not in for this because our health is also very, very important. That is why today you go to the hospital. The last time I visited somebody at the Kolebu dialysis unit, and I can, 5 years, 6 years old, going through this kind of pain. And for me, I don't think it is right. There are so many things that bring this kind of sicknesses that we are even experiencing today. And for me, I think that the Ministry of Agric needs to come again to let us understand very well, more especially our farmers.
This is more from CSIR, actually.
There should be more proper education about it. But honestly, me sitting here, I will not go in for this because I don't think that it will help us and it will help the country, not in terms of me getting resources or what, I don't mind. But the health implication is what we have to look at. Already, most of the times, your news item, you've been showing people in the market even diluting palm oil, that people are even speaking against it. Even powder pepper, we are being told that the seed in it, they'll just blind it and mix it. I mean, so many things that people are being doing.
But seed is very good, though.
But there are some people who are saying that, look, there are certain things that we mix with it that affected the health, affect human beings, our health. And I think that if those things are being dealt with, and it's all because people want to be enriched themselves within a short time.
I think this one, the main problem for people is the chemical, the fact that it's going to be produced in labs is not organic. You know, our fertilizers that we use are organic. We use fertilizers from... let me not to go there. It's too early, so that people don't. No. I mean,
for the sake of us who don't know.
Oh no, most people know. Most people know that most of the fertilizers are cow dungs and stuff like that. You know, yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah, that's natural. That's what I'm saying. That's natural fertilizer.
That's more good than the one that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's natural. But if it's early to use that word. That's why I didn't want to use that word. But most fertilizers are natural. But please let me bring you into the conversation. We are being told, CSR is actually being told that they are trying to cut edge science to address national challenge. Now, the national challenge is the cost of food and actual, production of food. And so they have come in, they've stepped in to sort it out.
It's good to eat food, but it's dangerous to eat bad food. The consequences of bad food can actually lead to death. Can give you sicknesses whose cost of maintaining will be too high that you will see the food available and yet you will not be able to eat. So there must be a balance as to the kind of food that you have to eat and the consequences that the food will have on your health. Certainly, look, whether we like it or not, a few of us are trying to run away from an imposition because it's like the world simply want to muscle Africa out of every space. When you do the Ricardian economic model, it will tell you that countries should concentrate on their area of competitive or comparative advantage. Now, what is the comparative advantage of African countries? Because in manufacturing, we are non-existent. In industry, we cannot compete. In the tech space, we don't exist. What we have is our land, which is arable, that we can transform into agriculture. The agricultural space is also being taken away through what they call scientific agriculture. Today, several agricultural techniques are in place, including agroponics and what have you, so that you don't get to see that people who have land, and I have seen that the Ministry of Agriculture is introducing what they call greenhouse farming in a country with so much land. When you go to the countries where they are doing greenhouse farming, you know that they don't have land, or their land is such poor that that is the way they have to do their farming in order to protect their crops from terrible weather. You go to Israel, then you see there are a lot of greenhouse farming. In Israel, it's very difficult for somebody, large-scale farmer, to get 100 acres of land. Do you understand? In many countries, you cannot get 100 acres of land. Go to the Upper West region and see the tracts of lands that people... Go to the Northeast region. Go to the Savannah region, and somebody can do in excess of 20,000 acres of land, just plowing. And there is still abundance of land. So what are we talking about here? That we will not be able to convert our local way of farming and improve them for the benefit of our people. So I was there, and then a friend of mine came, saying that, look, they want to introduce Israeli technology on my farm. So we had a meeting, and when they finished, I said, sorry, I want us to go to the farm so we can see how to do appropriate tech. The appropriate technology that will fit our circumstances. I don't want to bring Israeli technology into Ghana, when indeed we can simply adapt climate-friendly opportunities to ensure that our crops do well. And we have Martin Yelbora, a fantastic scientist who can take everything, right, decayable, and convert it into a fertilizer. How come that the state is not looking at such people? And the guy is at Damango. He used to work at the games, and he decided to set up by himself. He does a lot of scientific things. Rose, the guy can just take some herbs, and if you are having headache, and he gives you, you just smell, and then within a twinkle, you are free. You have joint aches, Martin Yelbora will do this. How come that, look, we are not able to harness such talents and use them? We have Mr. James Amalegu. This is a man.
I think what they are looking at is the production.
Let me tell you, James Amalegu can take one mango stem and graft it to produce about 3 or 5 different mango fruits. One mango, you see one tree, this branch will be giving you a different fruit, this one will give you a fruit different, and the man is entirely wasting. How come that we are not able, if I can get to know people like this, I am sure that there are many people who know, and they go to them.
But Bernard, this is a situation whereby we are looking at mass production.
Which one is mass production?
What they have produced actually is a pod bearer resistance, which is a cowpea, as the first genetically modified crop to be developed in the country.
Rose, I am a farmer, and I tell you every year I have to buy seed. When I plant maize this year, I am not able to take some of the maize and put as seed for next year.
Why is that?
Why is that so?
Because it has been what we call a GMO. So that if I plant that seed for next season, I will not harvest a thing. Why? So common seed, now every year, you have to buy seed from seed companies.
Okay.
So they've taken control of your agriculture, and you are sitting down thinking that you have agriculture.
Right.
The worst is that, look, because of these GMOs, look, we used to plant maize. We never had 4 armyworm. Now, because we are planting these things, they also come with certain infestations, pests and what have you. So as soon as the thing is germinating, then you see that pests come in. Now you have to go and look for chemicals to come and control the pests. Do you understand? The worst in all this is that these chemical fertilizers kill the microorganisms in the soil.
Okay.
So, yes, you will increase food production within a year or 2, and in future, you cannot use the land for anything.
Now, let me clear this. So what has been produced in the laboratory is the pod bearer resistance, PBR cowpea. That is what is being produced in the lab in Ghana. Now, it could develop into something else. But for now, it is the cowpea, the pod bearer or pod borer resistant cowpea. That is what has been produced. Dr. Khalid?
Rosaline, this mercantile attitude that we are bringing to everything, albeit late, to most innovations that are inimical to our own health, it's becoming a national canker. Why do I say this? We all think the abundance of sun is solar, and the solution to climate change is solar. But nobody thinks about how much carbon is burnt to produce a solar panel that's probably have a lifespan of 15 years, and batteries and all of that. So yeah, nobody works out all of these things. But when we talk about sustainability, we jump on all of these to the bandwagon when the West has actually catch up with what it ought to and has reached its saturating level and trying to greenwash, or for that matter, green monetize, if you like to put it that way. That's where we are coming to. I think my elder brother Bernard mentioned something very fundamental, which is basic economics, that you need to. I mean, as someone who's lived abroad before, one of the things that make me, they're very basic, that make me miss home is good food.
Right.
And for that matter, I'm referring to fresh banana with the golden fingers that still have that earthy scent and taste, avocados that when you cut them, they smile at you. Right, you go out to see leading supermarkets across the globe, and you have an avocado as tiny as your fist, or like twice less than that, and it goes for probably $5 or £3. Yet we have all of these happening in an organic form within our own home country. So why can't we rather create a niche market to become a next?
Period is a bit long. That's what
it doesn't matter. That's where our innovation should come in. Right, so why don't we create that niche market to rather become
an innovation?
And in GMO terms, where we are struggling with a huge chronic health bill, because that have health implications long term. I mean, look at the increase of cancer diagnosis we're having in this country, dialysis, among other things, and look at the health insurance system we have. Yes, and all of that. So I don't think this is the time for any government or any institution to focus on GMO. How can we maintain the organic forms of what we have and become a net exporter? Imagine our bananas and avocados sitting in leading supermarkets as organic grown foods.
Will the opposition take this on? What is the opposition going to do about it?
I mean, we got...
But he's not opposition, but he's opposed to it.
Yeah.
So
I don't think this is a natural concern. It doesn't have to be it's a bipartisan issue, because we are looking at the national health. But we have our great side of the manifesto that is coming out, where you would have full details. I don't want to preempt issues, because the manifesto drafting committees and things, and we'll be launching in Cape Coast. When we launch, you'll see the comprehensive agricultural or sustainable agricultural program the NDC government in waiting has for the good people of Ghana. But all what I'm trying to say here is that, can we focus on actually being a net exporter of organic grown food? You know, what is out there that they label organic grown foods, which cost an arm and a leg, it's not organically grown. Whereas we have it.
So
why are we doing this to ourselves?
Is sometimes you go on the market, you don't want to consume these genetically modified foods, but unfortunately you don't know them.
Yeah.
And so you consume them without.
So that's where the Standards Authority and all of these agencies needs to come in. In any case, we are even amidst galamsey. That has tremendous chemical impact on the foods we grow. Then we are adding GMO. What are we doing? We are compounding the situation.
So what has been said is that is actually this cowpea variety is resistant to diseases and pests, particularly the pod borer, matures early and is highly nutritious and produces higher yields.
You take chemicals, you spray the ground to prevent weed from growing. What it means is that they also clear the living organisms. They all die. So ventilation is limited. So you have to create artificial ventilations for your crops. You kill every living thing on the soil.
Okay. Now, this segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone Papa Fie. We'll take some messages now, because we have a lot of messages that have come in.
Still doing Franco.
Yes, we are still doing Franco. Don't forget to go to Franco phone? To go. My phone is iPhone 15.
And it's Franco.
Yes, 15 Plus.
It's Franco.
Pro Max. Yes,
this phone
Franco.
that you have been using before the Franco thing.
No, I can actually take off the.
No, but why
it's
you?
Just the case
Rosalind,
that is actually.
Bernard,
this is a.
My elder brother should be.
So this is a new phone they gave you.
Yes.
No, this is the phone that she has been using here.
And the one you always charge 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Is that the same?
I don't
Why
charge
you guys?
10 minutes. This is the phone that I got in February.
But
it's a brand new phone. Anyway, let's see some messages that have come in.
No, Bernard had a special interest. He should be buying your phone.
So the messages that have come in.
Because Franco will give us
Franco give you phone. Don't worry at all. Good morning, Rosalind, and your panels. And good morning to Dr. Grace Ayenso Dankwa incoming MP for Esikado Kenton. Listening to JDM makes me feel there is hope for the future. 4 years is enough to reset Ghana for future generations to build on. From Albert in Kojokrom, Esikado Kenton. Good morning, Sister Rosalind. I'm watching your show at Brekum Thursday Market. NDC launching their campaign in Tamale is a sign of victory in 2024 elections because Tamale is a blessed place ever seen in my life. Ghanaians should vote massively for JDM as president of Ghana, and the people of Brekum should also vote massively for Elder Simon Ampa being Brekum East incoming NDC parliamentary candidate. Okay. Mensa Majid is from Bechem, Toronto, says, my regards to the Honorable Charles Akwesi Esiedu, incoming MP for Tano South constituency. A vote for Dr. Baumia is a waste because he's going to lose miserably. During the campaign launch, JDM took his time to explain the 24-hour economy vividly, and I know NPP communicators want to be asking the meaning of it again because JDM has spoon-fed them. We need change to reset this country. Ghanaians are not interested in paying 1 cedi or 2 cedis every month for a mobile phone. Ghanaians need jobs, and in a 24-hour economy, jobs will be abundant. Let's vote massively for JDM on December 7th. Good morning, Madam Host. With all sincerity, what happened in our Tamale over the weekend go to confirm that people are tired of NDC and former President Mahama. Even the crowd on ground goes to confirm that Dr. Baumia and Dr. Napo and the entire NPP fraternity is poised in capturing power once again. The monumental development in the northern region, i.e. roads, infrastructure, health, education, etc., are all testament to our brothers to choose Dr. Baumia over Mahama. Dr. Baumia and Napo are the best pair. Basai, Komla, Matthias, Jasikan Municipal Isuta Buem. Musa Abattoir in Asawase, Dr. Baumia's track record is marred by a consistent pattern of peddling falsehoods which undermines trust in his leadership. In contrast, John Dramani Mahama has proven himself to be trustworthy, honest and reliable. His vision for a safe, secure and prosperous Ghana is backed by experience and integrity. The NDC's successful campaign launch further underscores the party's readiness to lead with integrity and experience. Ghanaians cannot afford to waste another 4 years under the inexperienced leadership of Baumia. Good morning. Please let the NPP know that if your house is dirty and you have problems with someone's house, which NPP is dirty and smiling with corruption, stealing our monies and clearing out criminals in NPP government. Daniel from Kumasi. Good morning, my beautiful Rosalind. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia campaign team pays homage to the Nandom Na. Baumia and his team, upon visiting the Nandom Na Palace, met DKM and was seated beside his uncle, who is the Nandom Na chief of Nandom. DKM only had the opportunity to present a gift, that smoke, on behalf of his uncle, the Nandom Na, to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia as a special guest of honor. Anyway, from Honorable Akisme Seshibekwa, it says, regards to Honorable Kofi Bente Afo, NDC parliamentary candidate for Sefrioso. The NDC's official campaign launch was a resounding success. The sheer enthusiasm and energy of the crowd were palpable, and the message of hope and progress resonated deeply with all in attendance. It's clear that the party's vision for a better future is striking a chord with the people. The NDC's momentum is undeniable, and it's becoming increasingly evident that they have the wind in their sails heading into the elections. Keep the spirit high and the message clear. Victory is indeed within sight. That will be all for our messages for now.
The DKM, they said, Mama's wife, now presents a small to Dr. Mamadou Baumia, and they are happy about it. So you see what propaganda does to people. They easily forget themselves.
Are they happy?
Are they happy
that they are rather trying to run away from?
Okay.
You see what propaganda does to people. Years ago, they lied through their teeth.
Anyway.
The DKM belonged to Madam Lordina Mahama.
We'll
and
continue.
Today, he's presenting a smoke to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia on the campaign trail.
Politics in Ghana is quite interesting.
And it's quite interesting.
Now, as we are speaking
so shame on the MPP.
Our GMO foods, we ought to understand it better this morning. So joining us on phone is the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. He's the CEO of Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. That's Mr. Anthony Kofitio Morrison. Good morning, Mr. Morrison.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, yesterday, Ghanaians were actually on uproar upon hearing the introduction of GMO foods in Ghana here. Please and please again, help us understand this main introduction. Is it fertilizer? Is it cowpea? What are we introducing it to in the first place?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, let me say that GMO has been with us over the past 60 years. And in Africa and Ghana, we have been consuming GMO-related products for over the past 30 years. So Ghanaians shouldn't be in any mood of fear or maybe being taken over by some form of phobophobia, which is the fear of the unknown, but just to be expectant of the fact that innovation, science, and research is helping to develop and increase better yields, provide better nutritional support system for our health. And that is what we need to be driving to, because there is more mouth to be fed. WFP, which is the World Food Program this year, said over 1 million people in Ghana could possibly face food insecurity between June and August. So I think that there are dire consequences in not being innovative, in not putting a lot into research and innovation. So we need to applaud the scientists who are behind it, because if you look at cowpea in itself, which is called the Vigna unguiculata, which is the cowpea plant, what it's predominantly a semi-arid tropic crop, which started somewhere in Eastern Africa, domesticated, now has its home in West Africa. Nigeria is the largest producer and consumer of cowpea in the world. Global cowpea production is around 7.2 million metric tons. Nigeria consumes just about 4 million metric tons. Ghana is doing somewhere about 320,000 metric tons. Now, the reason why cowpea is beginning to take center stage is the fact that there is a need to replenish the depleting nutritional deposit, especially plant protein. A lot of people are moving away from animal protein. And also because you know what I'm talking about, the gobe. The gobe Bugatti, the gobe BM, the gobe whatever that we have all been lining and queuing for during break or even before or for our breakfast or dinner or lunch. And coffee is a major food component in several food, especially in the health. Globally, India consumes one of the largest.
So let me ask you this: this cowpea is going to be used to produce what types of foods? The beans? Is it only beans?
Yes. So if you look at what has been done, this very cowpea is looking to increase the yields, be disease tolerant, because cowpea has a very serious pest which destroys its growth. So it produces, this is a seed that will be used to produce beans. And we shouldn't run away from the fact that it's GMO. We have been consuming GMO anyway. All our baked beans are GMO.
All our baked beans are imported. We are talking about crops that are planted right here and cultivated right here. Let's talk about, how, Bernard and please, Eben. Let's talk about how, the ones that we are producing already, are they not nutritious enough? Are they not preventing diseases enough? Why the introduction of this cowpea?
Okay, thank you for that. Yes, they are, but as climate change takes place, we have been facing a lot of challenges with regards to drought, also diseases, just like we had the fall armyworms. So there is a need to come up with innovative and more stronger drought-resistant and disease-tolerant seeds, which will increase the farmer economic situation or increase the farmer income. And most importantly, also to increase yield per hectare. So we're talking about how we can economically empower the farmer. While you see, the good thing about GMO seeds is that it reduces the use of agrochemicals and fertilizers. And that's what a lot of people don't understand and don't get it. Now, a lot of people complain about the fact that they get food poisoning out of eating fresh food and sort of. Farmers are poised to use more fertilizers, more chemicals, because the OPV, that's the opivarinated seed or varieties that they are using, are not drought resistant enough, are not disease tolerant enough, and are also not giving them the yield that they require.
So Mr. Morrison, in effect, you are telling us that this GMO is healthier and safer than what we were using in the past, right?
Well, both ways they are, because...
No, but you just told us that when we were eating, we were complaining about stomach pain and all of that, and people were getting infection, but this time around it's not going to be. So I'm asking you, in effect, is this GMO better and safer and healthier than what we were consuming in the past?
Certainly they are.
They are better. Are there any side effects to these GMOs?
There are no side effects of GMOs. Yes, you may talk about contamination with other non-GMO seeds. Of course, these are cross-pollination, okay, with GMO seeds, potential altering their genetic makeup. That is, but then, aside that, patterning and ownership, dependency on technology, public perception, and acceptability are all things that, but generally, GMOs are safer.
But how is something produced in the lab safer, which is chemicalized, safer than natural products? How is that so?
I want to educate you on this.
Please go ahead.
The fact that it's produced in the lab doesn't imply that it is chemicalized.
Okay.
What we are looking at, genetic modification of the seed. So, for instance, you have given birth, and the medical doctors are saying that, look, your child have certain medical conditions. There is a need to improve on his weak medical conditions. Those activities that are done are scientific, are medically approved. And that is the same thing that is being done on our food. If you fall sick and you go to the hospital, whatever you are being diagnosed of and treated for are the same thing we are doing in plant genetics, okay? So it is not the fact that we are bringing certain foreign or unknown substances. No, it is the same crop, the same original seed that is being used to improve on productivity, right? Farmers are beginning to have challenges with the land, the soil. The soil is fast depleting its nutritional deposit. And that is why the farmers are forced to use a lot of fertilizers and chemicals.
Okay.
It is one of the reasons. Hold on.
Mr. Morrison, let me ask you this.
We are also seeing food inflation.
Okay, let me ask you this. I like what you just said, and it's actually related with my question. You're saying that we are seeing food inflation. Are we saying that these, inorganic foods that are going to be produced, because obviously organic foods, these are not organic, these are inorganic foods, are going to be cheaper on the market as compared to the organic foods? Are we going to see that?
Of course, it depends on your option. Organic foods are more expensive, if you want to know, because of the traceability elements of the lower production rate of the organic food, and also accessibility and availability, right? So those are issues on regards to organic.
Okay.
With regards to the GMO or non-organic food, I would say that yes, the availability is there, affordability is also in there, and accessibility is there. And you talk about safer and quality. For instance, we buy tomatoes from Burkina Faso, and we all say that this is beef tomatoes. Do you know what goes into the genetic modification of the tomato seeds that we are importing? We spend $600 million a year as a country to import tomatoes from Burkina Faso. Just because it has a longer shelf life. You see,
so it will give a longer shelf life as well. Now, when you go to the hospital, the doctors will tell you, try as much as possible to stay away from inorganic food and eat organic food. But now you are telling us that these inorganic foods are going to come in healthier. Now, Center for Food Safety has actually told us, Center for Food Safety.
The public.
Sorry, pardon?
Doctors don't tell you to stay away from inorganic food. They tell you to
really
eat healthy and nutritional balanced food.
All right.
Right?
All right. Now, let's talk about this. Center for Food Safety, actually, on their website, when you go there, they will tell you that some of the unexpected effects that you could actually face when you consume these genetically modified foods. You could have toxicity, you could have cancer, loss of nutrition, antibiotic resistance, allergic reactions, immunosuppression, and so on. We just
I can tell you for a fact that there are no known effects of GMO. And there are no known also any case of people who have consumed GMO foods have had cancer.
Okay.
Right? So, you know,
but are there any known benefits
between propaganda websites and face the reality? You understand?
Center for Food Safety is propaganda website.
Do you know tissue culture? The tissue culture in banana, the tissue culture in plantain is what is making it easy for us to be able to have our bananas today. All the oranges we import with the orange color are all made and developed from tissue culture, and tissue culture is part of genetics.
Okay.
So if people out there are complaining about, look, you've heard about seedless plantation or production. People are planting crops without seed, right? All these are aspects of technology advancement in agriculture and food for us to be food secure as a country, live healthy, and be able to promote a more enduring human population.
Okay. All right, Doc. Thank you so much. I had to call you Doc because you are in depth in the conversation. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Anthony Morrison. All right, please have a fantastic day. And Mr. Anthony Morrison is actually the CEO for Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, and he's told us that it's healthy, and so there's more propaganda out there than we think. It's not as bad as we are imagining. I know Bernard Moina has a lot to say.
Well, you said Chamber of what?
Chamber of Agribusiness.
So he's all about commercialization. And what do you expect a businessman to say? That there is much more profit to be made. So for him, what will lead to more profit is more important to the agribusiness chamber than the other things. How on earth can somebody say that there are known side effects of chemicalized food? How is that possible? Without any scientific thing, you can just see. Why? We buy watermelon of late. You put the watermelon and you see that some foam start to come out of it. You think that it is not toxins. And when that toxin is consumed, you think it will not have effect on you? You buy mango. By the next morning when you cut the mango, you see that it has started fermenting. It used not to be so in the past, and you think that there is nothing wrong with that. The fruits that we eat, you put fruit down, and it cannot survive for the next 2 days. And you tell us that there are no side effects, but you can see that these days when you put watermelon, make a danger and put it in a rubber. By the time you come, you can see that the watermelon has expanded and is reaching explosion limits. So therefore, GMOs have massive side effects on all of us. Yes, they say eat healthy food. Why is it that those who say eat healthy food encourages you to go and eat organic foods? So it means that you cannot be more a scientist or a food nutritionist than the person who has specialized. You are specialized in how to market your agri-produce, and you are looking at how to increase your crop yield so that you can get more money. Concentrate on that.
All right.
But don't come and tell us that, look, GMOs have no side effects. Then it means that GMO have no benefits as well.
Honorable Ebenezer Nati.
Rosalind, listening to...
in 1 minute,
not-
though.
it's
In
not
1
Anthony
minute.
Morrison.
In 1 minute.
I was just asking myself, what kind of explanation is he giving to us? So he's telling us that we should go in for this chemical food, we should consume it than to
That is
one we
healthier.
are doing. For me, as I said from the beginning, I personally don't think that it is proper for us to introduce this, because already we are having so many health implications. And how can you just plant, how do you call it, banana or maybe orange or watermelon or any fruit, and within some few months you get it, and then at the end of the day, when you consume it, you'll be having problems with it? For me, I think that they should come back again. And as I said from the beginning, I'm expecting the Ministry of Agri to come and let Ghanaians understand what all these things are about. I am not in support of it. I don't think it will help us.
All right. Dr. Khalid?
Well, I mean, I thought we were going to have a balanced perspective. As you brought him from the chamber, we would have had someone also from the other side that really supports it, because he's making a lot of claims that have no scientific backing. And I think that buttresses the point that, when he says something, a group of industries, that's what he's representing. And there are lobby groups. I mean, the GMO lobby groups are very powerful, right? And they lobby all of these commerce groups, among other things. But he's speaking so much on authority, and the health of people are very concerned. And I'm quite worried about his authoritative statements he's making without backing them with scientific claims. I mean, if GMO, and what he's failing to realize is that there's a vast difference between agri innovation and GMO stuff. And he needs to distinguish the two. Either than that, his statements are quite misleading, and I'm wondering where we're taking all of this to, when we ought to be advocating. I'm saying that as part of activities of the Commerce of Agriculture, can they think of creating a niche market for Ghana to be a net exporter of organic grown foods? Because that's what is the big thing out there, because people are thinking to be healthy.
And that's what a lot of people
It's going to bring
want.
income.
You know,
it's going to bring...
we consume organic products. Everybody loves the fact that we consume it. And then all of a sudden, this comes in and we are being told that this is even healthier. Wow. I'm surprised as you are surprised.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll do more research on it. Hopefully, we'll find out if it's healthier or it's not. And if it's not, as Ghanaians, we'll push against
Just take
this.
note. He said that it's going to increase the yield. They are going to get much more.
Yeah.
Get much more to make more money.
Yeah.
He's not talking about, and he's saying that.
And Rose, what's the
Anyway,
CSRI saying?
so-
They are the scientific people,
Oh, they are the ones behind it, though.
right?
Yes.
They are pushing the
Yes,
agenda.
they are the ones behind it.
But
so.
who is sponsoring
Yeah,
them?
CSIR is behind it. It's
Who is
America.
sponsoring the research?
It's actually United States something.
So,
The
so,
ones-
you see,
they
where we go.
so-
There we go. So we
Anyway,
have to learn to do things on
This
our
all
own.
time will permit us for Newsflash segment.
The shackles of
thank you
neocolonialism
so
is
much.
still here.
This segment has been proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, if you want any gadgets, please go to Franco Trading Enterprise. I use iPhone 15 Pro Max, and you can get it there. You can get it. You can get other gadgets in there. There are television sets, CCTV cameras, and others. Go there and get it. You can download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or visit our website www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still food pepper pef. Yeah. Please pardon me if I couldn't read your message. We'll try and see if we can read it in the course of the show, or if not, we'll try and do so tomorrow as well. Now, don't forget that we have our cash out happening. Now, Bernard, Eben, and Dr. Khalid, we actually do give out money now on Prime Morning is 1,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, now anybody stands a chance of winning. It doesn't matter who you are. All you need to do is to play the game. If you are an MTN user or a Vodafone user, a Telecel user, so *281
that is
hash.
Lotto.
Is that lottery? I'm a
But the way
Muslim.
you started, as if
As if you're going to give us,
so you give everybody
No.
1,000 Ghana.
No, they are playing Lotto.
So Joy Time is now a Lotto house.
No, it's not a Lotto house. We are giving money out to
Rose, that's haram for me.
So that's not.
That is haram for me.
No, it's not haram.
That is haram.
We are giving you money. So *281 hash.
That is haram
now
for
you
me.
can start playing now. So you pick up your phone and you dial *281 hash. Select number 7, which is Joy Prime, number 7. And the draw will happen probably in the next 30 minutes. We'll have our draw taking place. So start playing now, *281 hash. Play now. Select number 5. I've been playing.
I'm interested in the tax component. When whoever wins,
number 7.
let us see the
Select
tax
number 7.
component of it.
There's no tax.
Oh, the government will not tax it.
Oh, no, that'll be illegal.
No, not illegal.
That's up to
There's no
them.
betting
No,
tax.
when we are sending it to them, there's no tax.
Yeah, but when the recipient, would it be taxed before the recipient gets it?
No, it won't be.
tax.
So betting
They get
tax.
1,000
So betting
cedis
tax would not touch it. That's
On that
illegal.
note, start playing.
Media is engaging in illegality. You
We
know?
beg you, no, it's not illegal. It's not illegal at all. We are not GRA. GRA will do their work when it comes to that. That's not us. It's not in our mandate to do that. We don't take taxes. So we'll give you 1,000 Ghana cedis. If GRA decides to come for the tax, that's for GRA. Anyway, this is all time will permit us. But start playing now. My guests have been Dr. Sharif Khalid. Thank you so much for being here. And he represented the NDC. Of course, His Excellency Bernard Mona, who will be launching his campaign on Wednesday.
My brother is not His Excellency yet. We only have...
No. Hey, it will happen. I'm speaking in
But they refer you as an
future.
honorable member.
So,
I'm not,
His Excellency
I didn't hear
Bernard
that.
Mona
I didn't listen.
is
I'm not an honorable member.
representing
No, I'm not.
And PNC, sorry.
But when they call you, do
And of
I did not
course,
hear.
our very
If I
own
heard, I would have
Honorable
debunked it.
Ebenezer
This
Nasi.
honorable-
Honorable, thank you so much for being here. And he represented the NPP. My name is Roslyn Felly. Do stay with us because we have a lot of conversations coming your way. We'll be right back.